Hello and welcome to the full-time report. Arsenal versus Chelsea. You got the Global Gooners here, Jack and Moran. You know what, Moran? Pretty decent performance. Not a great performance, but a great result. 1-0 win against Chelsea. Petr Cech gets his clean sheet. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain gets a great goal. What are your first thoughts on the match?
I didn't like how the game ended with the way we had to sit back and, just hold on preservedly. But sometimes you got to do that against these teams, when they bring the entire kitchen sink at you. Chelsea had three in the back in the end, but I was just very impressed with the defense in the second half. The way it was just able to put their foot on the stamp and just not allow an equalizer from Chelsea. Koscielny was masterful in defense, leading the line, and Coquelin as well, bringing on, continuing the momentum from last season. And it was just, and not forget, Mr. Chelsea himself, Petr Cech in goal, who made some fantastic saves, especially on that free kick against Oscar. But there are still cracks that need to be fixed up. There's that one chance Hazard screwed up, which if he buried, we could have a completely different discussion right now.
For sure. The thing I liked about the performance was we just kind of stayed calm. In previous years, there might not have been the belief that we could actually hold on, but everyone stayed calm, got the job done. I thought we countered well. We had some good chances at the end as well. I thought Gibbs should have buried the game at 2-0 with that lovely pass from Santi. But overall, a very good performance. I thought Giroud changed the game when he came on. I thought the momentum was shifting to Chelsea's favor, but then he came on and created some chances. I thought he should have done a little better on some of them. That shot with his right foot, I thought he should have scored, but he did give us a physical presence up there, and he held the ball up, and that's what we needed to do. Chelsea were giving us high pressure and forcing us to kick it long, so we needed somebody to be a physical presence up there, and he did that. The midfield was pretty solid going both ways. Aaron Ramsey, I thought, had a good game, and not only going forward, he was also doing some defensive work. I didn't like having a center mid out wide. I preferably would have wanted Giroud to start and then maybe put Theo on one wing and Chamberlain on the other. It only limited us to really counter on one side with only having pace on one side. But other than that, I thought Wenger set up the team very well. The back four was solid. Petr Cech commanded his box. But as you said, there were some cracks that we need to fix up. But just the way that we stayed calm, got the result that we needed. The performance probably was overall 7 out of 10. Wasn't that great of a performance. We didn't create that many chances, too many chances, but 7 out of 10 performance against Chelsea got us a 1-0 victory, so you can't complain at all.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You mentioned how Giroud definitely changed the game. I agree with you. When Theo's on, it's more, how do you say, it's more, guns blazing, everything just going directly forward. When Giroud's on, Arsenal are more in possession. They're more dominant over the ball and, possession oriented. Like you said, Giroud could have done better. And, that for 3
We
years.
all know Moran wants Giroud to do better all the time. Giroud can always do better.
But, I was watching, I think, the Sky Sports telecast of the match, and I think it was Martin Tyler or Stuart Robson who mentioned, how Giroud has such great positional awareness in the box. He just knows how to, find that small space for a chance to be created for one of his teammates to provide the ball to him. Of course, he's not a clinical finisher, but he has all the tools requisite to be a quality striker.
Exactly. Other performances, man of the match today, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We touched on him a bit on the halftime report. This could really be a big season for him. He has the mold of an Alexis Sanchez type player. If we can have, I think that's his goal. His goal should be, I want to be as good as Alexis Sanchez this year. And if we can have two world-class players on each wing, that's going to be unreal. Our pace, strength, skill going forward just be another put us into another dimension. Mesut Ozil today, I thought he could have done a little better. He didn't really take over the game like I would want him to. Same with Santi Cazorla, although not bad performances from them. Moran, what do you think about the back four today? Obviously, Koscielny was a beast. Mertesacker was pretty solid. He gets the job done in a shaky way, but he still gets the job done. And then pretty average performances from Nacho Monreal. And I thought Byrne actually had a poor performance. I thought he gave away possession way too much, and he needs to improve on that. What are your thoughts on the back four?
Yeah, I agree with you on Bellerin. Luckily for him, he has the pace to, overcome some of his mistakes. He knows he can track back because he's such a quick and pacey right back. I tend to disagree on your assessment of Nacho. I think Nacho had as the game, turned nitty and gritty. I think Nacho Monreal really stood strong and stood pat, and really took care of players like Willian and other players they offered on that flank. And he was strong in the aerial battles as well, and was very composed as the rest of the back four was. Yeah, you touched point on it. Koscielny was splendid in the back. Mertesacker, who had a shaky first half, picked it up in the second half. And like I said, Mr. Chelsea himself, Petr Cech, getting the one over his former club.
Moran, with all these good results in the preseason, we won the Asia Cup, we won the Emirates Cup, now we won the Community Shield. Do you think that kind of will forecast the rest of the season in trophies to come? Because last year we did win the Community Shield. We beat Man City in a very convincing performance, 3-0. And we didn't really start the season off very well. Do you think all the success in the preseason will translate into success at the start of the season?
See, that's a tough one, I don't want to go on here, we won 3 preseason trophies, we're going to win the treble, we're going to win every trophy imaginable. But this is a very monumental win for an Arsenal squad that's had trouble with Chelsea over the past 4 years since their last victory. An Arsene Wenger who's struggled with Mourinho his entire career. Overcoming this obstacle of Mourinho's Chelsea is huge for the psyche of this squad. It gives them the belief to move onwards and upwards and be able to accomplish anything this season. So I expect us to have a big season. Like Theo said, a special season is on our way.
Special season. Sure hope so. In the preseason, Ryan, I don't think we can go through a hangout without talking about transfers. What do you want to see coming in with the transfer window? Is it still the same defensive mid striker? And I'll ask you this question: if you can take Benzema or Lewandowski, which one do you take?
Okay, I think fans are really sick of hearing about this transfer news that really doesn't really turn up. But of course, the two main priorities is a striker and defensive mid. I'm of the mindset that we have a lot of options up front. Sure, they are not as clinical as some of the world-class strikers out there. Me talking about Giroud, Welbeck, and Theo. But with this service, we can put them in the best positions possible for them to succeed. Again, what I'm saying now, I might change my mind come January transfer window. But I'm of the mindset that we have so much potential up front. It just needs to come full circle. You said Benzema or Lewandowski. If I had to choose one, Lewandowski, but probably very unrealistic. And I'm more concerned with getting a defensive mid to provide cover for Coquelin, or somebody for Coquelin to provide cover for, so that if Coquelin gets injured, we're not in full panic mode.
Yeah. I always find the Benzema-Lewandowski question a little bit redundant. It's like asking me if I want to go on a date with Mila Kunis or Penelope Cruz. It's just probably not going to happen, But if it does happen, Arsenal have hit the jackpot in recent seasons. We have gotten players like Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez. And if Wenger can pull it off, I don't expect him to do anything, to be fair. I thought maybe he'll add a squad player at that striking position someone in the mold of Fernando Llorente, I think, is more likely option to happen. Although we only have added one player to the squad, and that being Petr Cech, and it would be strange to see Arsenal with the financial position that we are in just not spending any more money. We do have a lot of more money, and if it's more of a risky signing, then let's just go for it. We got to go all in this year. I think our window's now, and we should just put all the chips in the middle of the table and go all in. Moran, any last words for today?
Next week, West Ham at home, morning kickoff. Well, for fans in the west side of the world, morning kickoff. And we'll be back here next week for a great season ahead. Hopefully get the season started right with a big 3 points against a London rival that we really had great success over the years against. So
fully expect 3 points there. It's great that the thing that's great about Arsenal, it's basically a 12-month year following. We only took 1 month off without any games. It's great that games are coming up right away, and exciting time for the fans, especially with the promise that we have in the squad and the belief that we can actually go on and win something. And it's nice winning trophies at Wembley, but if we can win that trophy, that big one, that league title at the Emirates, that will just be something else. And we are looking a little too far ahead of ourselves, but you know what? It's coming. It's coming. I got belief, and I hope other fans do as well. So overall today, just to summarize, really good performance. Great result, and that's all you want against a rival like Chelsea. And it's always nice seeing Arsene Wenger get one over Mourinho. So we'll see you next week, and up the Arsenal.
It's the first time. It's the first time he's gotten one over Mourinho.
The first time we got one over Mourinho. But hey, you got to start somewhere. Up the Arsenal.